Today I have with me author and professional psychic Lisa Long. And Lisa has done so much in your life. When I started doing the research on you, I was like, oh my God, you've been in movies and you've written books and you're just crazy, crazy busy. So anyway, thank you so much for saying yes, Lisa. It's been so nice talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I'm very honored to be here, and this is a wonderful opportunity for me, and I really appreciate it. I was one of the first psychics on the internet in 1995, and I've been turning down offers since. So I had to get through so many issues in order to be seen, and other than all over the internet. And
yeah, when you think back to 1995, like what was the internet in 1995?
It was just starting. The first website I built was with an AOL program that built websites. It was really slow.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions about your psychic stuff?
Go ahead.
Okay, so were you really young when you realized that you had that gift, or did you kind of nurture it as you grew up?
I always knew I was here for something more, and I always could hear my guides, and this was a very scary world for me for many years. It was I could see things floating by and dark energies, and I could see how they manipulated my parents, and I was sort of attacked a lot, and I had to get through those issues and gain my strength. And that's one of the things I teach: the stronger you get in who you are, that stuff can't bother you anymore. But it took me a long time and a lot of clearing because of the genetic history that I incarnated in. So yeah, I was always psychic. I did kind of, for a while, I didn't know everybody wasn't.
Right.
I just figured everybody knew what I knew, right?
Right.
And then I got into like high school where the girls would play games with the guys, and I couldn't conceive of why. It made no sense.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because in a higher reality, everybody knows everything, right? Everybody's psychic, everybody hears psychic here. They just don't know it. They just block that part of themselves. It's like they're not accessing it, but it's always there. And it's a lot more than psychic. Psychic's just a small band of understanding of reality, and we have all these huge concepts of understanding of who we are. And as we come into the material plane, a lot of people just kind of get stuck in the 3D aspects. And as you wake up, you have to clear out all of those limitations in order to awaken to your superpowers, basically, your understandings. And as I was watching all these people, it just was mind-boggling to me. And then I kind of, I didn't fall totally asleep, but I did kind of just get into go to work, do this, do that, the routine. And I think I had a real job for 3 months or more. I mean, I always worked because I started working when I was like babysitting at 12, and then I was in work study all the way through high school. I worked, and then I was in then I got jobs like waitressing or I worked through, in all the work study, I was always working. So I worked my whole life, but none of them were like, the first time I got a 3D job after I graduated college, I had 3 months, that was it. It just, my stomach did not allow it. It felt so heavy and crunched. So then I started my own business, and I had an advertising agency with my ex. And we had offices in Boulder, and then we expanded to Hawaii. And so then I did that corporate thing and offices, and then that got heavy. And then I was visited by angels, real ones. I mean, they were it was pretty blatant. It threw me off. For me, it was like, oh, hi guys. They showed up at my house in Hawaii, and there was my ex. I mean, they were not in the physical; they were in the etheric. But my ex could see him and felt him, and he didn't believe in any of this weird stuff. It was just totally out of his box, and all at once he was flashing through all his past lives.
Wow.
And then he became a pretty big angel artist. And I was, and he still is. And I went into teaching this and understanding, because for me it was like, oh, hi guys, it's nice you showed up, right? And they were like, wow, and my first thought was I'm behind, because I was like 32 or 33 or something, and I thought, oh my God, I thought I'd wake up when I was like 12.
You already felt like you should have.
I felt like I was way behind. I was like, oh my God. And I was reading, so I started reading all these spiritual books, and I read every religion and every spiritual book I could get my hands on, even though I'd been in a Catholic convent. I married a Jewish guy. I went to a Methodist church. I went to a Baptist. I was raised Baptist. So I was already out of the boxes. And that's what one thing I teach people is try not to get stuck in any of the boxes, right? Because they all have their own belief systems that get heavy. And the more you agree with a belief system, the more you're trapped into it.
Right.
Right. So if you study them all, underneath it all is basically love each other.
Right.
You take all the crap off, right? It's love each other.
Yeah.
And so then I immediately, my ex left because it just threw him way off. And before that I went to Egypt, and I channeled in a 5-day channeling conference, and that was just too much for him.
Wow.
And it was full body through the pyramids, and it was really cool. I went in the pyramid, and I'm going through the pyramid, and you crawl in, right? And we had a private group, so we rented the pyramids for ourselves for this private channeling conference. And I'm going through the little thing, and you have to crawl down to get into the king's chamber. And as soon as I stood up, there was like these 3 guys in front of me holding balls, and I stopped. I'm like, oh my God. So where the veils are like here, you can kind of see. Man, in Egypt, it was like you could see right through those veils. And the guys were standing there handing me stuff, and people were hitting my butt.
Wow.
It was cool. And everywhere I could see stuff. I saw this I know it's kind of off topic, but I saw this ship above the step pyramid. I got out of the van, and I looked up, and there was this big golden ship above the step pyramid. And I went, wow. And I watched it. I mean, it was not golden. It was solid gold, and it was floating. And we had a guide that was going to New York to give a talk on Egyptian history. He was a really pretty famous historian, Egypt historian. And I drew it on the back of a card, what I saw, like an hour later. And he goes, oh my God, you saw Ra's ship. he goes, that comes down every hour on the hour. And very few people have ever seen Ra's ship. I go, I saw it. It was plain as day.
That's so awesome.
I know, it was cool. I loved it. So, but anyway, so getting back to the story. So then my ex left, and my new partner, Michael McAvoy, showed up, and he was just so high level. He'd been doing sessions for 30 years for people, and he was 18 years older than me. And I was like, oh, I don't know, because it was a spiritual, it was like going to a spiritual MIT where I was with somebody who could see all my stuff all the time and point it out. It was like, oh my God. Right? So I had to go through this cleansing, and it was intense to get to his level. And I was with him for, with him and I, we started worldpsychics.com. And I was with him for, I think, 15 years, and he passed away in 2009. And then I moved I moved to Ashland, and now I'm in Mount Shasta.
Are you North Carolina?
No, Mount Shasta, Hawaii. I mean, California.
Oh, you're in
So
California.
I was in Hawaii 21 years in Kailua Kona.
Oh, nice.
And I was in Waterworld. And
no, I saw that.
Yeah, and a few Baywatches.
You Baywatch. I saw that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was in Waterworld. I was in the inner circle working with the top 6 people all the time.
I'm trying to think, who directed Waterworld?
Kevin Reynolds.
Okay. I was, and then who was the main? I like remember.
Kevin Costner, right?
Right. Right. I was going to look it up and then I forgot, and I was like, I know that movie. I mean, I'm old enough to know that movie. Okay. So.
And the little girl, she's so cute, and she was she would go work with Dennis Hopper or somebody, and you know, she was an amazing little girl, because I had the same age kids at home, and you know, kids get grumpy and
yeah.
They don't want to do it well. She would just do her lines, and she was just, I'm like, oh my God, Tina Maggio. She was just the most incredible little actress in the world. And she would run over for a clearing. I'd go, oh, you're, because he'd blast her, you know, because he was pretending he was going to kill her, right? And she'd run over, and I'd go, clear her over, and then she'd run back. It was fun.
Yeah, and what I remember from it is that Kevin Costner, it was like at the height of his like popularity, and they had put a lot of money. Wasn't it like one of the highest like movies that they stuck money into to move that world, right?
Yeah, and I saw this lone guy on the dock one day, and he looked stern, and he's in a business suit. We're in Hawaii, you know, on the dock, and he's kind of like looking at stuff. And I walked over to him and I go, don't worry, it'll make money. And he goes, whoa. I go, don't worry, it'll make money in the aftermarket. You'll get your money back. Okay. And it did. It made money. It's a cult classic now.
It is.
Yeah, it's like, but he was, I didn't know who he was or anything, but later on I figured he was probably, you know, the studio guy that came in to,
it's all like concerned, you know.
Yeah, concerned about because Spirit told me, go tell him, you know, don't worry, it'll make money. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about what you're doing with that next, but I have one quick question before it like leaves my brain, because that's what because when you were talking about your second, not your husband, but the second guy you spent all that time with.
Yeah, he wasn't my husband.
Wasn't your husband, but
the first one was my husband that we got divorced, and then the second one we never got married, because we decided, he'd been married twice already, and we decided as 2 divine beings that we would just every day get up and want to be together. Right.
But I wanted to ask you about, like, because I felt like when you were saying it, what I was feeling like, do you feel like there is connections that we have don't have very much control over? Like, I don't know, because the guy that I'm with right now, and I've been divorced twice, I've been on that same thing, but like nobody could have said no to me. Okay. Like nobody could have said he was like, I felt like this instant like thing. And it's like, is that is there something more to that? Is that because we're supposed to be doing stuff together, or is there such a thing? A lot of people spend.
It's not a supposed to, but sometimes it's a prior life commitment where you say, hey, when I go down and you go down, let's meet up over here, or
at this particular place.
Yeah, let's meet up when we're 30 or whatever if we can, or, you know, because you're still navigating down here. So, and then also, because my ex and I had 4 or 5 lifetimes together, and I saw the pattern repeating when he left, and I'm like, I've done that 4 or 5 times. I don't need to do that anymore.
That's awesome.
You know, 4 or 5 different lifetimes is enough. People are out there going, oh, I want to find my soulmate. I'm like, why? If you've done it already.
You've already been there, done it.
You've been there, done that. You know, you left him in the past life. Why are you looking for him in this one?
That's awesome. I just know,
But yeah, you and your ex are, you had a, it's law of attraction, one thing.
Well, he's not an ex.
Oh, he's still your current husband? Okay, so you and your husband
we're not married.
Have this.
We're not married.
Oh, you're not? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know. I never, with Michael as partner, we call him partner, right?
Yeah, we've been together 5 years, and it just wasn't. It's just, he's been married, I've been married. You know.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I don't know.
You can though. I mean, if I'd have married Michael, I'd get money now. Social Security or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, is that our law thinks that we do need to do that, but you know, for
you don't
financial.
But you guys have this love connection on this side, on this. It's more. This is more the masculine. This is more the feminine. And there's a more of a feminine connection with you and him that's flowing a lot when you talk about him.
Interesting. I just knew that it wasn't like anybody could have said no. It wasn't logical, but it wasn't like anybody could have convinced me otherwise. And I was like, what is that? I've never felt that before.
It's a hell yes.
Yeah.
So when you're tuned in, tapped in, and turned on, which is a quote from Abraham, which I love, Abraham Hicks.
Abraham, I love Esther.
I've gone on 3 cruises with her.
I saw her once, but I buy all her current stuff. Like I can't. Every Tuesday, I get to download new Esther stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's amazing. Well, when you're tuned in and everything, it's a hell yes. It clicks.
Okay.
It just clicks. You don't have to go, oh, should I do this or should I do that? Or that's the confusion. That's when you're in these lower level thought forms. There's thought forms around Earth. And this is what I'm putting in my screenplays and my movies and everything, because people here have no idea how reality works. They don't know how the universe works. It's been suppressed. It's been, people have been, I call it in the muddy water.
Right.
And even Shakespeare, the tangled web we weave, that's what he was talking about. There's this tangled web of thought forms and energies that people get caught up in that sinks their energy down into the muck, and then they don't know who they are. They don't know where they're going. It's hard to hear guidance because they're under so much mud.
Right.
And most of the mud is other people's stuff. And some of it's inherited, some of it's genetic. We come into, have certain lessons. And so as you clear that off, then you get it in your head above the water. Mm-hmm. Right. And you can all at once, you can hear your guides and you're clear and you just know what you want to do and you know where you want to go. And it's never over, because then when you go through another challenge, like moving into a new industry or somewhere, then you've got to kind of clear out. There's this field, and for me, it almost feels like birthing. When you're a baby being birthed, you go through the sac to a new level. And when you're moving to a new level, you can kind of feel your mind moving through this thing. But if you have all these beliefs that I'm not good enough, I can't get there, I'm not worthy, then it's like having your feet stuck in the mud with weights.
Wow.
With lead weights. And you just, it's hard, you can't hardly move. It's hard to move and it's painful. But if you know where you're going, if you know that where you're going is everything you've asked for, because ask and receive is literal. But most of us don't go because we're too scared to go, or human nature is the old patterning. So that's why a lot of us who are here, there's millions of us that have come in now.
Well, you know how Esther always says that too. She always starts off, she's like, okay, step 1, ask, step 2, receive. And she's like, okay, I'm done. And she always makes a joke about it. Like, I'm going to say the same stuff. She always says the same stuff, but we keep listening because we get something different. She always says it's so easy, but in the easiness of it, we make it difficult, Yeah,
well, it's not. Esther, in my opinion, Abraham, Esther, they're speaking to people. When you're pretty clear, what they're saying works. It's like you're up here, I can move forward. But if you have ties, these cords, this thick stuff, if you took, I have parrots.
Oh, that's what that is. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
She's getting all excited though. We must be oh, look at that.
This is Lily, and she's a hybrid, and she bites a little bird. See, she's got a heart on her tummy.
Oh.
And this is Merlin. Merlin's a normal, and they're green cheek conures.
I love Merlin.
Say hi.
I was wondering, I was thinking, gosh, is it my audio? Like, I didn't know.
No. Lily, they're grumpy because it's kind of breeding season, and I'm not letting them breed. So they're a little grumpy about it.
And you know, when you wrote your Kindle book about meditating, I mean, she stresses meditation so much, Abraham, Esther.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she talks about it all the time. Like, you need that 15 minutes every day to like release and let you, I mean, is that how you feel too? Like, do you really believe that meditation is the way?
Oh, it's not only the way, it leads to other ways of becoming conscious, multidimensional, and conscious, deliberate co-creator, like a visionary. You know, the big people, like really high level. I've hung out with Richard Branson and a lot of the really high level people. I've been to the 10th anniversary of the X Prize. And
what about Wayne Dyer?
I met the space commander of the space shuttle. That was cute. Anyway,
what about Wayne Dyer? You were in Hawaii. Did you ever?
Oh yeah, I met Wayne a couple times. I met Wayne in Denver. I just intended to meet Wayne, and I met him 3 times on the elevator in a hotel in Denver at an event. Me and Wayne and one lady who was escorting him. 3 times.
Feel the energy.
I got on the elevator with Wayne. Yeah.
I heard you could feel the energy coming off of him when people that met him.
He holds a good feel, or he did. He still does. He says. He just did that. But yeah. The thing that I admired about Wayne was his compassion. He just held this. It's like all these people at the end of, he does this event for 2 days, and he'd been sick for a while, and
right.
and he was better, and then all these people are coming up and they're wanting a photo with him, and he does like 100 photos or whatever, and all these, and there's just so much energy and so many people, and he's already done 2 days, and he just had compassion for everybody.
I was so shocked when he died, though, because I thought that he was getting better, and then he just died. I mean, and they kind of
he left. He didn't die.
Right. He left.
He left his body.
Right.
His body died. Yeah.
Yeah, and when he left, they didn't give any huge explanation. They were like, he just left in his sleep, just like he said he was gonna. He just did.
Well, he had a form of leukemia.
Yeah.
That, he had, delayed through his healing practice and everything for a long time. Right. But that's what my partner passed away from, leukemia. Oh. And in leukemia, it's a pretty easy out, and it's more common among older men, and their blood just doesn't produce red blood cells. So they get tired, and then they go get blood. And then they wait 2 weeks, and then they get tired, and then they go get blood, and then it comes a week they have to get blood, and then they can't. The new blood doesn't keep them going. Right?
Jerry Hicks also died of leukemia.
Yeah, leukemia. Right when Michael did. Esther and I had that in common. I told her about that.
And that's when my mom left too, at the same time that Jerry Hicks did.
Well, it's a kind of mellow out if they don't go through the treatments.
Yeah.
Because the treatments are the hard part.
Right.
And they don't have a real good track record with them.
Right.
But if they don't go through the treatments, and they do, because we did all alternative stuff and it still didn't work, but he stayed 7 months. The doctor said it was amazing.
That's what Jerry Hicks did. He did all that alternative.
Yeah. And but it was they just get tired, so it's not like
It's
a
not
painful thing or anything. They just go to sleep and leave.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I was thinking about and bringing up Wayne Dyer is that he was doing the same thing that you were trying to do when he made The Shift. Okay, that movie. You know, like, so he was trying to use every media form that he could to try to explain why we're here.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
that's great. For me though, I mean, I liked that movie, and I liked what's that big famous one? Not What the Bleep, but the other one. Oh, I forget what it's called. But anyway, those are all good, and they get you to thinking, huh?
The Shack.
The what?
The Shack. Was it called The Shack? The movie you're trying to think of?
No, the one that you know, where they interviewed everybody, Esther and.
Oh, The Secret.
The Secret, yeah, that one's good, but they left a secret out of the secret, like Esther says. You know, because it's just like you got some of it, but you don't get it all.
Right.
It doesn't click. But it's like you said about listening to Esther. I've been listening to her for 7 or 10 years, and I still hear new stuff.
Right.
So you can't really, because my consciousness goes to a new level, and then I translate it differently, and I get new stuff. I expand into a new area, and I see it from a new perspective, right? That's how it works. So as you move your level up, you expand, and your consciousness expands, and then you get it from a new level.
Right.
And so that's where I have movies I wrote. I spent 7 years writing after Waterworld, after I was in Waterworld and those things, because I was getting that I could reach. I went to Singapore and on a trip with Michael, and because we were living in Bali for a while, and you had to leave in 3 months. You had to go outside of Bali to keep your visa, and so we flew to Singapore and back. And I went into this underground thing that goes under the roads that has movie posters, right? So it's a sidewalk under the roads because they're busy roads. And they had a Waterworld movie poster, and these little girls are like 16 run up, and they're like, "Oh, Kevin Costner," and I'm like, "Oh my God, is this?" And they were just, "We just love Kevin Costner," and I go, "I'm in Singapore." Wow. This is mind blowing. It was like, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's where I made the connection." I go, "So whatever I make, if it gets up there big enough, right, it reaches the whole world." Right. And so that's where I made that connection. And I wrote for 7 years. So I've got probably 5,000 pages of books and stuff.
Wow.
On my hard drive, and screenplays and at least 20 of them, but none of them are there yet. I have a short that is, and then after that, my cards got full. My credit cards got full. So I had to go back to working and stuff.
Right.
And I was raising my kids and everything. And then, but I couldn't get it out. And that back then's when I wrote that little book, that 5 Easy Steps.
Yes.
I just channeled that. I just wrote that in 10 minutes. It just went. And I could not put it out for 20 years. Wow. Because I had such deep fear issues of being seen. Literally. And so I had to go through clearing that, because I'm so sensitive. I picked up so much stuff in my childhood that I had to clear all that crap. And so I put that out there, but it's got 20 years of energy behind it. Wow. And it was, it's really high level book. It's a very high level little book.
You know, for anybody out there who meditates, or if you don't meditate, like I've been meditating for a long time, and I learned stuff from it.
And it's only 5 pages.
And it's only 5 pages. I know.
It's 99 cents on Kindle.
It's crazy, because I was like, I think I know everything about meditating. And then I see, oh, you can read this in under 30 minutes. I was like, okay, I think I'm not going to.
Yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to
5 minutes. I know it's like 5 minutes,
meditate.
but you know what I liked was the and I even wrote it down because I so want to do it the next time I meditate is the making the call. I was like, I don't do that. I just relax, but I don't really, it's not an active where that's more an active, like make the call and then trust that you're getting the answer,
Yeah.
right? And
you bring it up, you bring gratitude up from your gut.
mm-hmm.
And even Jesus taught this. You bring up gratitude. You bring up this, oh, thank you. Gratitude, higher, appreciation's higher, but you bring that up from your gut and you that energy comes up and it clears out some of that crap in between. Because they're always sending the energy in, but you got to allow hearing it. It's like they're always on the phone.
Right.
But you got to pick it up, right? And that's what the meditating does. And a lot of people teach, they pray all the time. And I'm like, well, do you ever shut up and listen?
Right, exactly.
Because if you're praying all the time, you're not hearing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's just the other end of the stick. It's like, what do I do now? Oh, okay, thank you. And if you get one thing that people have that sticks them a lot is they think, I don't know. And it took me a couple months probably to clear that one. So if you ever hear yourself go, I don't know, go, yes, I do know. Yes, I do know. And it comes right in. Because it's right there. You do know. But if you've got this block saying, I don't know, you're stopping it.
Interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah, you go, oh, I do know. What do I know? And you might go make coffee or something, and 10 minutes later, boom, you know it, right? Because you took your mind off it, and then all at once it can come in.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And I always lay down, and you stress that sitting up is like necessary. So I'm going to try that.
Well, you can lay down, but a lot of people go to sleep.
And I do. Sometimes I do fall asleep. And then I always think it's good because at least, you know how Esther always says, go take a nap? And I'm like, well, maybe I'm taking a nap. Maybe that's a release too. But I do want to try. I've never tried sitting up, but I know that she meditates sitting up. She does not lay down.
Well, a lot of people get hung up on, oh, I have to have my legs this way and I have to do this way. Just find yourself, get comfortable.
Right.
However you feel comfortable.
Right.
So you can feel safe and just kind of go inside and relax and allow that energy to come through. It's active listening, only it's passive. You have to be passive with it.
That's what I'm saying. See, I think you still have something to learn by getting it, and it's 99 cents. Just go download it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a great little book.
Yeah, it's a great, really, I've seen meditation books that are like this, okay? And it's like, that's
what I wanted. When I wrote that, I wanted to put it, the grocery stores, I guess they still do, but in those days for 99 cents when you check in, they had those little books.
Yes.
So that's why I priced it 99 cents, because I always wanted to have that little book out there at every grocery store counter.
Maybe it will be.
People. Huh?
I think it will be.
Well, it's cool. Thank you. But yeah, on the internet too, it's even bigger than the grocery stores. Because they charge a lot for that. Did you know that?
No, wow. I'd imagine.
That space?
Right.
You have to pay for it.
Oh, no, I did not know.
It's like at Costco. If you have your book on a table at Costco, you're paying for that space.
Even like Sam's Club?
Everywhere. It's all, it's all, That's why people, when they go through distributors and stuff, you can have 4 books at our warehouse. Like the big guys, right? They have this space paid for. So if they take your book and market it, then they have. I used to be in publishing. I was in publishing and advertising.
Well, that helps too for what you want.
Yeah. So they.
No,
so I know how all that works too, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's like you said, it's such a journey to take you to this next place. And, you've already been in movies. You know how it works. Okay. That's why.
Well, a little bit. It's so amazing. It's like I was just blown away at the professionalness and the love and the attention to detail, and it was just so amazing how they worked. We were in Hawaii, and like that was before Costco, Walmart. We didn't have anything. That was before Kmart. I don't even know if there was Ace Hardware. There was like nothing there. I had to fly off island to buy furniture. And even baby clothes they were like expensive. The first store we got was Kmart, and everybody in town got new underwear. It's like,
wow.
it was because you had to like almost go to another island to get stuff because it was kind of really small town and you're on an island.
Right.
And anyway, so when they did Waterworld, they called it the Sugar Shack, but they rented this whole area up north. Mm-hmm. And for 9 months, I think they were there for a long time. And the reason they went over budget was because if they'd have filmed it all within the first few months, mm-hmm. they would have been okay. But what happens in Hawaii is as you get closer to winter, the water gets rougher. Oh. And everything was floating on the water. And so in the morning, it's like it's calm, and then by like 3 o'clock, it starts getting too rough. It's not like where in Hollywood you can just work till midnight.
Right.
So they'd have to go inside because the water every day got rougher earlier in the day as the winter came on. And so they had to extend the budget to get but anyway, what was I talking about? I was trying to remember why I was telling you about it.
We were talking about your all your screenplays, and have you sent them out yet?
No.
To get viewed or anything?
No, because I want them to be produced in a certain manner, and I want them to have clear energy. Mm-hmm. And at the consciousness level that I'm bringing forth, I want them to portray that in a very specific way. And when I wrote them, a lot of them, they couldn't do that in the movie industry.
Right.
It wasn't until they got digital. Now digital, they can show it. But the film back like 20 years ago when I wrote a lot of them, and now I'm updating them and stuff, they couldn't show a lot of the invisible realm stuff.
Wow.
Right. And the multidimensionalness and
right.
I mean, they could, but it was kind of, yeah. So now they can. I mean, they can really show it now. It's amazing. Oh, I want to know what I wanted to tell you about Waterworld is they brought in 40-foot containers. And so one of them would be like Ace Hardware, like every nut and bolt in the world. And then another one is like all costumes. And then they have like a person in charge of each 40-foot. And then another one is, I was just amazed because it's like they brought this whole town in 40-foot containers and they plopped them up there on the black lava, right? They made this when they made this studio, I think they called it King Kong Studio. And it was just literally, when I walked through the gate, you had to have a pass. So even if you worked the day before, you had to be on the list to get in that day.
Right.
And or you couldn't get in. And when I walked through that gate, the field, I could feel the field. It was like there was this invisible field, and you walk through it, and it was like a totally different energy. It was really cool.
Well, I can't.
But they were so professional. It was just mind blowing how professional they are when they go on site somewhere. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens with your stuff. I really can't. But
yeah, thank you.
Before we end this, I do have a really weird thing that happens that I thought happened to everybody, but I have now been informed that I'm just weird. So maybe you can make me unweird. But when I go to sleep at night, when I first close my eyes, I see downloads of faces that I don't know.
You do know.
That I don't know.
Yeah, no, you do know. You just don't know. You're not conscious
I know, but why? Why?
of them.
What is that?
When you're coming into your body,
Uh-huh.
you're coming through the astral realms, and there's a lot of different energy fields, and they get denser as we get closer down to the material plane. And when you're coming into your body, you're going through those fields, and what it feels like to me that you're experiencing is saying goodbye to the people you were hanging out with.
Oof.
The faces?
So weird. Like I said it to somebody and they're like, what? I'm like, you know, when you're falling asleep and then all those faces appear and they're like, no. I'm like, oh.
No, that's your family.
I just
so one thing when you some people see, scary stuff, right? They see a lot of, it's because when you get to the lower level there, it's kind of it's scary stuff. It's because it's thought forms that humans put out. So it's denser, and that's why monks go up on a mountain, right? Let me close this so it doesn't make noise. So because they get above the field. So when you're in a big city, you have a lot more of those dense thought forms.
But I feel like it's when I'm going to sleep, like when I let go.
That's you're going home. See, you're not an individual. You're a group mind. We're all group minds. Mm-hmm. We're not individual. We're just pretending to be human females.
Right.
And so when you're going out, you're joining your group. You're joining who you really are.
And so they're just flashing like as I'm seeing them?
Yeah, and then as you're coming back in, you can feel them too. And that's good because that means you're staying high level.
Oh, good.
You're not going into that. Some people go into, panic, or when they're getting back in their body.
I've had that. I've experienced that. The jolting of, I've had that.
If there's a sharp noise in the room, sometimes you come back in your body really fast, and that can your body can't move yet because you're not all the way in. Right. And that can scare people.
Right.
So if they just wait a couple seconds there, it's probably only a millisecond, but it seems longer. Then they'll be in their body and they can move.
Right.
But if you're just in your head, you're going,
Yeah, and people go to the doctor for that. They're like, oh, when I wake up, I can't move. I have paralysis or something. But I always want to be like, well, no, you're just not there yet. Like,
yeah, you're just not in your body yet.
Wait,
And a lot of people in nut houses, mental institutions, to put it in a nicer way, they're just not in their body.
Right.
They're just floating around up here seeing all this stuff. And some people that are in comas, they're just not in their body.
Right.
So you can call them back and say, get in your body. Their loved ones can't hold their hands and say, hey, get in your body. Earth, wherever you are.
Well, I love your gift. I think it's very cool. I love when I talk to somebody who really gets, because I learn a little bit here and there, but like you're so much more aware, and I love that.
Well, it's taken years, but thank you. I appreciate that. So that's what I want to put in what I'm really working on is enlightened life entertainment.
Yes.
And that's where I'm bringing in, I learned, over the years well, it's taken me all this time. And even if I put out 2 or 3 really successful movies, or 10 even, it's still not going to quite get, so my stuff might get people here.
Right.
Just like Esther gets them here, and then other people help them here. And so on the lower level, so if I help people wake up, she'll just get louder. If I help people wake up, if I help producers wake up, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing a group to help them put it in their movies.
Nice.
Because the more we put these nuggets out there,
The more you get, the more
people will have exposure to it. So
and that's what I wanted to tell her.
With a group of us doing it, Lily, quit it. See if I keep her up to talk. That she can be noisy and I'll pick her up. So I don't want to train her that way.
Well, I wanted to tell everybody that that's another thing, to go on your website, and if they want to talk to you the way I'm talking to you and they want answers to some of the things that they're going through, you know, you do groups, you do personal one-on-one, you do all that kind of stuff. And Lisa, I think that is, I mean, you're helping so many people that way.
Thank you. Yeah. And the energy on this video will literally shift you.
Awesome.
Even the people watching.
Just watching it.
Because there's energy on the video. There's consciousness. And one thing too, drink a lot of water after being exposed to me or high-level people and information. And if you feel like crying the next day or later on, that's normal. Because you're releasing the resistance. So if you feel emotional and crying, it's because your higher self is coming in more, and your personality self is letting go of the feeling unloved, unseen, unknown.
That's awesome.
So that part it's kind of a blending. It helps blend your personality with your higher self. The more you hang out with high level.
When you just did that on the video, all your fingers they molded into one when you did that. Cool. Not now, but the last time you did it, like like it was weird. It had like a fuzziness around the energy around. So
I run a lot of energy.
Yeah, you create a lot. I can see that. I didn't, and now I can see it. Like I can see it because I see it. I see energy. I do. I see energy.
Oh, I believe you. Yeah, you're very high level.
I can see it.
It's our time.
And it's right.
Time. All the light workers and people who know they're here for a reason. And it's our time to step forward and be safe.
Right.
And I had to go through that when I put World Psychics out there in 1995 because there was a little backlash. I got letters and handwritten letters and stuff.
Wow. Well, I'm so happy to meet you, Lisa, and I will do whatever. I will put everything out there so that people can get in touch with you, and please keep in touch and let me know what's going on with all your stuff because I want to hear about it, okay?
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, Michelle. Okay. We can always do this again if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Lisa. Have a great night.
You too. God bless.
Bye-bye.